but he doesn't go after him right away. He waits for the right time. He's so patient.
Right.
Like when you watch the early rounds of his fights, he's like at a world champions that are competing today at the highest level, he probably has the lowest punch count in the early rounds.
Yeah.
Because he just wait, but he also knows he's got that nuclear option that if he can crack you, most likely he's going to take you out. He's got massive confidence in that.
Right back on.
A little bit of weight. I think Gervonta will beat him. Honestly, I think Gervonta will hurt him. I think he'll just use IQ. He'll tire him out a little bit, and you know, I think he'll land.
Joe Rogan was shocked after hearing that Gervonta Davis knocked out a heavyweight in sparring. He praised Tank's explosive strength and the way he lands clean shots without hesitation. Rogan said Davis brings a special kind of danger to the ring because one punch from him can instantly end a fight. To Rogan, that unpredictability is what makes Tank both thrilling and terrifying for anyone who dares to face him.
You don't know whether someone's ever going to be able to figure that out or whether or not he's just going to keep cracking people.
Yeah.
You know, so it's part of the fun of watching it. I've talked to a lot of like real boxing purists. It's like, you can't rely on that style.
Right.
He's got to be busier. When he gets to the best guys, it's not going to work out. Like, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Inside the gym, those watching Gervonta Davis train say he looks even more dangerous than what fans see during real fights. Heavyweights step up thinking their size can test him, but they quickly learn otherwise. His speed and sharp punches overwhelm them before they can adjust. Witnesses claim even the biggest fighters can't handle the explosive power Davis generates from his compact build.
Right back on. Body. Touch his body. Hold stick his body. Hold stick his body.
Thirty seconds.
A former sparring partner of Jake Paul shared a blunt prediction that Gervonta hits far too hard for Jake to handle. He said Jake hasn't faced that kind of knockout power before. While Jake may feel confident after beating older fighters and ex-MMA stars, that experience won't save him against Davis. When Tank lands, it's not just points, it's damage. The ex-partner warned that Jake is stepping into a level beyond anything he's known. Many respect Jake's courage, but he added that every risk has a breaking point, and Tank Davis is exactly that point.
Honestly, man, like every single time, you know, people said that Jake would get finished or he would lose a fight, he obviously proved everybody wrong. But I genuinely believe this time, I think that, you know, with Gervonta's boxing IQ and him having Jake come down a little bit in weight, I think Gervonta will beat him, honestly. I think Gervonta will hurt him. I think he'll just use IQ. He'll tire him out a little bit. And, you know, I think he'll land. You know, Gervonta knows how to touch his opponents. But it's interesting because when Floyd fought Logan, the size really made a big, you know, impact. And you saw Floyd struggle, you know, against a big, you know, Ohio corn-fed, you know, wrestling strong dude. And, you know, I've sparred Jake and Logan before, and, you know, they train hard.
You're picking Tank by knockout?
Look, I sparred them years ago. They're much better than when I sparred them. They're athletes. You know, they train really hard. I think they work harder than...
Joe Rogan admitted Jake helped bring younger audiences to boxing by creating hype that promoters often fail to achieve. But he questioned if Jake is really ready for a top-level boxer in his prime. Most of Jake's wins came against retired or past their prime names. Davis, meanwhile, offers elite speed, power, and years of high-level experience.
You know,
Rogan wondered if Jake's
Hannah
business
Montana,
success
and all
can
of a sudden
protect
you're this
him
very
when it's just
sexual
two fighters in
singer,
the ring.
and you do
He respects Jake's bravery but thinks this fight finally puts him against a young, dangerous opponent at his peak.
under 10 fights. Like, what if Jake Paul knocks one of them out? Like, what if you get a guy that, like, hasn't been tested and maybe has some promise and maybe gets wrapped up in the hype and maybe gets a little nervous, and this is his first chance at a big show, and Jake Paul can crack.
Yeah.
100%. That knockout of Tyron Woodley is legit as fuck. He can crack.
But Eddie's point in that interview, and I think the point that just about every boxing aficionado would say, is that Tyrone Woodley.
Showbiz the adult shared a deeper look into Tank's mindset. Even if this fight is labeled as an exhibition, the risk of embarrassment is serious. A boxer of Tank's caliber has spent years building a reputation for dominance and professionalism. Getting knocked out by someone who came from the internet would spark endless headlines and doubt about his career. Showbiz said critics already talk after the Lamont Roach draw, so Tank is preparing like everything depends on it, because it does. For him, losing isn't just physical, it's his image. That pressure drives him to stay focused and refuse to treat Jake as just another internet act.
It's a fake fight, but it has real consequences. Let him get knocked out by Jake. Let him get embarrassed by Jake. He can't come back. He'll be made a mockery of. He done took a knee, grease in the eye, had a draw with Roach, which everybody thinks Roach was robbed, and then made a mockery of by Jake Paul, a YouTuber. Which is why Gervonta Tank Davis is on Demon Time. See, me being back on my fitness journey, I know how hard that is, especially at his size with how heavy that medicine ball is. Gervonta Tank Davis is going to go hard, pause, on that Jake Paul fight. He has to. While everybody is trying to dismiss that shit, there's a knockout bonus and everything. You got Lamont Roach calling him all these names. Tank Davis shut off his social media. He can't take y'all negativity, making him worse before the fight. He can't allow y'all to be in his head, which that's what y'all want to do. The end of Tank. And I don't. I think boxing is better with Tank involved. I always say that. If there is boxing, boxing is even better when there's more talented and skillful.
Bruce Carrington pointed out that matchups like Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul are giving boxing a new kind of energy. Traditional fights don't always draw a global audience, but these crossover events bring in casual fans and entire online communities. He believes the sport needs more excitement than just titles. It needs moments that get people talking. Carrington said whether fans like it or not, these events keep boxing in the headlines and spark new interest that spreads to other fights.
Saying, like, granted, it's entertainment, right? But this what this is, it's sports entertainment. This is what's gonna put butts in the seat, believe it or not. This is what's gonna, bring a lot of money to the sport. Especially, we have, like, people trying to say boxing is dead, boxing is dying. But, we have a whole demographic of people that don't even watch boxing, interested in boxing. So I like to look at it that way. Like, we're making these fantasy dream matchups come to life with Floyd and Tyson, And to be honest, I'm a little biased because Floyd, he is my favorite fighter of all time. And Tyson, he is a guy that basically, like, made me fall in love with boxing. And he's like the icon, the myth, the legend for me. So it was like them two fighting. It's like, yo, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, and then on top of that, it's an exhibition, bro. It's not something to be taken serious. It's something that is for the people to just enjoy and watch. It's an exhibition. It's not like they're making it a sanctioned fight. Now, Jake and Tank, are they making that a sanctioned fight? I think they are.
They're trying to. It's a lot of moving parts right now with that one.
Yeah, so I think that's where certain things become an issue, because now you're putting it into a serious space. You know what I'm saying? Which it shouldn't be. It's honestly, if it's sanctioned, how the heck they gonna I don't know, bro. I don't know how the heck they gonna like really pull that off, but I guess I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's kind of certain things you got to question, but at the end of the day, it is putting more eyes on the game. It's keeping the sport alive. And like I feel like Jake, his vision, his views, it's kind of bringing like eye openings. It's kind of opening people's eyes. It's funny because I genuinely don't believe.
Concerns have grown about Gervonta's mental and emotional strain before this fight. Legal problems, court appearances, and public pressure have weighed heavily on him. He's expressed wanting bigger legacy fights like one against Vasyl Lomachenko, battles that build greatness, not controversy. During the Lamont Roach fight, he admitted he wasn't mentally in the right place. Experts say these distractions could affect him, but others think they'll make him hungrier. Tank wants to prove that despite setbacks and headlines, he's still one of the most dangerous fighters alive. The question now is whether that pressure sharpens him or wears him down.
When in the lead-in to the Gervonta Davis-Lamont Roach fight, Gervonta was not actually even interested in fighting Lamont Roach. He was trying to fight Vasily Lomachenko. And Vasily Lomachenko was the guy that was going to really kind of propel him. It was the big fight that he wanted to get. But unfortunately for him, Vasily Lomachenko decided to retire instead of fighting him. So all of the time that it went into negotiating that fight with Vasily Lomachenko, where he really thought that he was going to get, that marquee fight with a fighter, in that division, it goes away, right? So what does he do? He then has to try to make a fight with somebody else. And that somebody else was Lamont Roach, somebody that he knew, somebody that was from the same area that he is, and somebody pretty much he was doing that the PBC was doing a solid for, and saying, okay, man, we really don't have an opponent, but this guy has a 130-pound title. He just beat Hector Garcia, the same guy that we beat. So boom, let's make the fight. However, that fight was originally supposed to be in Houston, and it had all kind of problems with the venue, moving the venue from here to there. It was supposed to be on one date, then it gets moved to the next date, right? And so basically it gets delayed and delayed and delayed. He also has issues with a judge over a hit and run case, and he's not allowed to leave Florida. She cites him and drags him into court because he went to DC, or he went somewhere without permission. So now he has another threat over his head about going to jail. Just a lot of stuff on the top of that young man's head in the lead into the
new footage of Shakur Stevenson has caused backlash after he criticized Gervonta's skills but quickly agreed to a paid sparring role with Jake Paul. Analysts called it hypocritical, saying he's talking down Tank while still using his name for attention. They noted that someone who claimed Tank wasn't as skilled now seems eager to profit from the hype around him. Fans see this sudden change as proof that money and exposure can easily shift opinions. Many now question whether Stevenson truly stands by his words or just follows where the paycheck leads.
Main eventer to an undercard fighter, and then now, worse than an undercard fighter, you're being brought in for sparring, and you're like, ooh, I get to pick Jake Paul's brain, and you like happy about being a sparring partner. For me, that wouldn't be kosher. If I was Shakur and I am who I say I am, I would be trying to build my brand as big as possible, right? Like, if you want to be a big actor, you're going to get to a point where you got to start starring in the movies. You can't just keep doing cameos and showing up for 5 seconds in a movie. You'll never get to Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Will Smith, Denzel Washington. You'll never, if you're not a leading man, you'll never get to where they've been, Leonardo DiCaprio. They don't trust you with the whole movie, right? So for me, if my goal as an actor was to be a leading man and to be the top build, you got to start working towards that. And if you keep doing favors and other people's projects where you do these little bit roles and extra, you're an extra in somebody else's movie, I feel like that's a conflict of interest, because it's not really going to get you towards your end goal. So that's what I'm looking at Shakur. The branding stinks. You're literally Jake Paul's sparring partner right now, just because you don't like Tank. So like I said in the last video, the branding sucks.
Not Tank. It's gonna actually bump up Tank. Yeah, these actions. Hey, people gonna be supporting Tank on these type of actions. You guys gotta look at the big picture, man. Years ago, man, I had a chance to spar, Ricky Hatton.
Boxing fans have been discussing Jake Paul's surprising link with Shakur Stevenson. It's strange since Stevenson had always mocked Jake's career and opponents. Analysts compare it to when Jaron Ennis trained with Canelo before his Crawford fight, saying some fighters will set aside personal views for money or exposure. This looks more like business than loyalty. Some believe Jake knows attaching a top boxer to his camp boosts his credibility, while Stevenson gains attention and a payout. But fans wonder if that shows genuine respect or just opportunism, proving how blurred the line between pride and business has become.
Shakur Stevenson reached out to Jake Paul in support of him preparing for Gervonta Davis. Help me understand, what is the difference between Boots Ennis reaching out to Canelo Alvarez in support of his preparation for Terrence Crawford versus Shakur Stevenson reaching out to Jake Paul in preparation for his fight with Gervonta Davis? Tell me, what is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The Ennis family actually had a relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson had no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout? I don't want to hear anything about this fight. It's against a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. No, Shakur Stevenson is an elite level fighter that is going to be a sparring partner to a YouTuber, and he reached out to him directly to make...
Pauli Malignaggi shared insights about the event's location, saying Florida is perfect for its energy, celebrity appeal, and media spotlight. He believes a knockout win there could skyrocket Tank's fame beyond boxing. Beating someone with Jake's massive online reach would make Tank a mainstream name. For him, this fight isn't just competition, it's a business breakthrough. A big win could open doors to endorsements, major venues, and global recognition.
I'll keep them to myself, but there's obviously a reason why the networks wanted to make Gervonta Davis a star.
But let's look at it. And Robert, I want to ask you this. When you looked at the numbers for Canelo, his fight against Crawford, 41 million viewers. That's what they got. It was the most viewed championship fight of this century. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson got 108 million. It got more than double, significantly more than double. Is it the idea of the streaming services, Netflix, where they're following the numbers, Robert, and that's what the numbers are?
It's where we're coming to, the real fights where they deserve to be seen throughout the world are, it's great. They have good numbers, but when you see guys, that are YouTubers, guys that are 60-year-old retired and coming back, and getting 2 times more than what a real fight, it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing, kind of sad that we're getting there, that we're in that situation. But I also can't blame them. They're all making a lot of money. That's why Tank is doing it. I think it's ridiculous. It's a joke. But I can't go against that either. He's making a lot of money. Jake Paul is doing his thing. Jake Paul is he makes these fights happen and gets the views. So people are tuning in. That's the.
Andy Ross took a bold view, predicting Jake might actually win. He focused on Jake's size and reach advantage, saying it could stop Tank from closing in easily. Ross also pointed out Jake's awkward style, which isn't shaped by years of boxing tradition, making him unpredictable. He admitted Tank's skill is unmatched but warned that Jake's power and confidence can't be dismissed. His opinion may be unpopular, yet he reminded everyone that one punch can change everything, and Tank can't afford to underestimate Jake's danger.
Fighting Gervonta Davis.
Crazy.
Your thoughts on this?
I have locks with Snaggy right there. I think Jake Paul wins that fight. You're way look. Obviously, Gervonta Davis has way more experience. He's a hell of a fighter. He's done so much more for boxing and than a lot of people. But to say that, that's not, everyone's gonna want to watch that fight. I think it's a genius idea. I think Jake Paul sets the craziest expectations, and I think he sets the bar so high now in the boxing world. Jake Paul revived boxing. People can say what they want to say about it, but Jake Paul really...
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates.